guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Shohana, and for those of you who are new here, welcome. And for those of you who are returning, welcome back. Here on my channel, I do planner and planner-related videos with the occasional new release video of items that I've listed to my Etsy shop. And if that is of interest to you, please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you hit that little notification bell, you'll always be notified of when I do load a new video. And if you could also comment, like, and share, that would be amazing. So I did a thing, and I'm calling this a Happynichi micro Commonplace Journal. Now, I seem to make up things where they have huge names, but this is actually a amalgamation of several different things that I've seen here on YouTube. So what this is just a really slender little journal that I've created, and this is some offcuts of some Happy Planner paper that I've cut for my Happynichi. And the reason I've put this together is I saw a video about 2 weeks ago about commonplace journals, which I'd never heard of, and apparently it's a thing. I think it's more in the bullet journal world. I have yet to see it here in the Happy Planner world, and I watch tons of videos. But the whole premise of a commonplace journal is to have one place to keep your thoughts, to keep your inspiration. Now, it isn't like a diary. It isn't like a happy planner where you are planning anything. From the videos that I've seen, and I'll link several of them below, it's sort of twofold. Some people have a commonplace journal that they keep of inspirational quotes or motivational quotes that they have come across that they want to keep, that they want to remember, and that they want to keep in one common place, hence the name Commonplace Journal. Another version of that is if you are studying and you are moved by a passage, or you find a quote that's inspirational, or you're reading a business book, or just something in it that is more than just highlighting the page. You actually want to extract that thought and put it down to paper, because there is something about writing something that you've just read that is more likely to commit it to memory, and then keeping that all again in one common place, hence the name. So what I've done is I've made this of components that I've had in my stash. And actually, once I go through this very first page, I'll actually do just a really quick tutorial, because it actually comes out really quickly, so long as you have just some supplies. And if you are in the Happy Planner community for even a minute and you've gone down that rabbit hole of you have stuff, then this might be a project for you. Now, the way that I plan to use this is I film videos once a week generally. Sometimes I run out of time and I have to do the odd video here and there, but for the most part, I'm bulk filming in a day and then editing and then getting it out throughout the week through scheduling. So today happened to be a weird day where just maybe because I started out with a budget video, that I've just been out of sorts ever since. And sometimes I'm out of sorts just because I'm PMSing, and sometimes I'm just out of sorts because I'm annoyed or I'm stressed about work. But today I think it's because of the way that the first video started. It just sort of set the tone for all of the others. And so what I'll be using this for is, before I film every single week, I'm going to come in here, I'm going to look for an inspirational quote, but I'm not just going to put down a quote down and some stickers. What I'm actually going to do is put a quote down, and I will make a cover page, but I'll do that off camera. But I'm going to put a quote down that means something to me, and then I'm going to write down here what that means to me. So again, you could, if you have any Happy Planner books, a lot of them have beautiful quote stickers, and for some weeks I might just, you know what, let's do that. I'm going to use a sticker here from the Color Story, and I'm going to use this one. Now, I don't faith plan, so this is not a section that I would typically use, but something about this kind of spoke to me, and I'll show you what it is in just a second. And the quote is, "She is strong," and that's apparently because I don't know my Bible very well, but that's from Proverbs 31:25. I think that's chapter 31, verse 25. I think that's how you read that. Now, for me, I'm not sure what this is in reference to, and again, I like the quote more so than I like that it's from the Bible. I don't know if that just sounded weird, but I mean, I wasn't looking for anything biblical, I guess I could say. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do just a little bit of journaling of what this means to me, because again, my intention for this little thing is once a week, whether I do it on film or not, I might do it before the first video. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below, but I'm going to do one page. I'm going to either write a quote, I'm going to use a sticker, I'm going to do something, and I'm going to write what that means to me, what it says to me, how it speaks to me, and hopefully that will put me in a frame of mind that reminds me of my joy and my passion in this particular community, not just in the planner world or in the budget world or in the DIY world, but just in the community as a whole. And I'm hoping that will help me just sort of kumbaya so that I don't just get into a mood and then it just affects me for the entire day. All right, so let me do some quick journaling. I will speed through this, and then like I said, I will do a quick tutorial on how I put this together. Okay. Now, I don't know if this is going to be something that can be helpful to anyone, but the other way I thought this might be useful is for those of you who do faith plan, for those of you who do Bible studies. Again, I don't. But I thought this might be an interesting way not to focus so much on a bunch of verses or to have a theme, but if there are particular Bible verses that you enjoy or that speak to you or that help you get to that place, you may want to create a little book for just that, so that if you're having a day, it can be something that you can go to, because again, this is to motivate me, this is to remind me, this is to help me, and not in just the moment that I'm doing it, but as with any book, next week when I go in here, I will have to see this, and it will remind me of what I was thinking at the moment when I capture the next moment, and I'll capture it here and here. But for those of you who are in a Christian Bible, I think that would work. Those of you who do the Quran, or you are in the Old Testament because you are of the Jewish faith, or you have some other sacred text that you utilize, I think this could be a way not to so much focus on the lessons that your faith teaches you, but sometimes just a line or a passage that speaks to motivating you or inspiring you or reminding you of the beauty around you, or just again, it's one place to keep things that is only for that purpose. And I don't know if that's making sense. Because it makes sense in my mind. It makes sense that I'm not going to do planning in this. This isn't about stickers. This isn't about taking notes when I'm editing videos. This is about keeping one single place where I can find inspiration, either in others or in myself, or it helps motivate me, or just it reminds me. And so that's why I think this is such a useful little tool, because I can incorporate aspects of this into my different planner sections. I can make notes on my phone to myself, but I kind of like the idea of taking the thought out of my head, just doing some free journaling, and then I've captured this moment that I will be able to look at and I'll be able to refer to, because she is strong can mean different things to me on different days. Today, I have to remind myself that I am strong. On other days, the she is strong could mean she is strong and she isn't me. You know, that there's so many lovely, amazing women that I've been able to encounter in just the planner community alone, and she is strong because of this. Sherry is strong because of her generosity and her spirit. Tamika and Tara are strong because of their zest and passion for life. Christy is strong because of her utter amazing ability to both be attention driven or detailed driven, and yet such a generous spirit. Andy is strong because of her love of books and her love of words and her love of literature and her passion to share all of that. I mean, I could go through just a laundry list of who she is and why she is strong. So this can mean a lot of different things at a lot of different times. And so I'm hoping you find this an interesting concept. And again, I'm only going to be in here once a week. At least that's my initial thought. I might need this more as things become more stressful for me. But again, this is my Commonplace Journal. And then let me just do a quick, well, that's relative for me, but do a quick tutorial on how this came about. So I made this DIY classic size notebook, and if you can get the classic size Happy Notes, then you're just one step ahead, because then you don't have to make all the components. I can't, so I do. But what I did was, I like in my Happynichi having planner pages that do not have this border. Now I typically use the big sized Happy Planner sheets because I can get 2 pieces of my Happynichi paper from one piece of paper. The classic size, that is not a thing. Now, when you use a classic size piece of paper, the benefit of that is there is absolutely no wastage. If you make a Happynichi size sheet or a half sheet, and then you use the offcut for your Happynichi micro, and that's what I'm calling that. And so for a Happynichi page, it is the 9.25, so 9 1/4 by 4 1/8. 4.125, and this is the perfect size of a Happy Note half sheet. This is what's left. This is what's in that little planner. So I get the completely borderless page that I will punch. And I have more sheets for my Happynichi, and then this I can add to this one. Now I love dot grid paper, so as much as I can, I will look for dot grid paper to utilize in here. And I do have all of the wrong notebooks that I just purchased, and I might actually pick up some more the next time Joanne has a sale and a deal on their shipping. And so what I did was And let me get a little organized. So in the Joann's haul that I did recently, I bought 3 of these notebooks because they were on sale for, I think, like $6. Now, I just honestly, I wanted the paper. I love dot gid paper, and this was even more affordable than if I bought paper packs here in Hawaii, including, there was a little bit of shipping, but it was like $3 for the entire order. So what I've done, and what I'll show you, hold on. I've mentioned this one before, but this is the Big Happy Memory Keeper Planner that I had bought when I had first started Happy Planning back October 2018, thinking that I could have a backup, but then I didn't realize at the time that the pages had all of these things on it. And for just regular vertical planning, that's not a problem. But I like doing the dashboard layout when I was using the Big Happy Planner, and that would just be too much to cover up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to repurpose this cover. Because I don't know why, but I really don't want to cut up another wrong cover. I mean, I have 3 sets because I have 3 notebooks, and it's, yeah, I mean, it's double-sided, so I have 6 of these, but these are the only wrong things I have, and I don't want to mess it up. And I mean, I have a cover for this, so I don't necessarily need another one. But I'll show you on here, and actually this might be a little bit easier to see on camera. I don't know, that's what I'm going to tell myself anyway. Now again, because this is the big, I actually have to cut this down before I cut it down, because this is 11 discs and I only need 9. And the way I did this for this one, I didn't even measure. I just basically put my cutter right above that right there, and then I'm going to cut the line because that'll give me a little bit of overhang on the bottom, and then there's already the built-in overhang at the top. So we'll line up the cutter right above the little umbrella, make sure everything's flush at the top there, and then just cut. Now, I've been cutting some thick items, so my blade is getting very dull, but for these kind of projects, it's perfectly fine because it actually cuts quite nicely. But if I am going to be cutting some scrapbooking paper to make cash envelopes or something, I will need to change my blade. And then going across, it measures the actual paper, not including the little overhang for the laminate, but the actual paper goes to 3 1/4, and including the laminate, it goes to 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it goes to 3 3/8. So this would be 3 1/4, and it actually goes right there. And hopefully that's in frame. So the paper ends here. So if I line it up, then this is where the actual paper ends, but then there's a little bit of a border for where the laminate is. And again, this was already laminated. This came like that. So when I cut this one, I'm going to want to line up the laminate to the 3 3/8. And then that gives me the exact same size of cover. And actually that's really pretty. I love that pink. So for this one, not apparently, but obviously, we don't have any more holes. So, and I actually made this mistake with this back cover. Now it's still longer than the paper, so that's fine, but I did not take into account that little laminate edge. So this one is actually a fraction smaller than the front cover. I don't know if you can tell, but yeah, it's just a fraction smaller because I did not take into account, I only measured the width of the paper. I did not, the width from edge to paper, I did not take into account. Now, again, it doesn't matter because it's still bigger than this piece of paper right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to make these even, and we're going to go to the 3 and the 3/8, and we're going to cut. Now these two off pieces I will actually be utilizing in another project. This was not on my schedule of things I wanted to do this week, but when I get these little ideas in my head, I just need to get them out of my head. So yeah. Now I normally do not use the cover to make holes, but through various projects I have come to realize that one, this will not work in your punch. Don't even try it because you will break it and then you will cry. Now I have yet to break mine, but I've come really close. So learn from Auntie Johanna and just don't do it. Now I'm going to try to get this as secure and as flush as possible, because the reason I want to use the cover is because I can use a paper and I can eyeball it, but then that means my front and my back cover, although the holes will be in the right position, the top and the bottom edge will not, or it won't be the same. So because I want it to be the same, that's why I'm doing this. You can use a Sharpie. It doesn't actually matter. This Papermate Flair works just as well, and I know that because that's how I did it for this one here. And really, I just need the top of the umbrella in order to punch this. So even if it starts to bead and fade, that's fine. I just need some sort of mark. Now we're going to go back to our trusty single hole punch, and we're going to line up the top of the hole punch as we've done in the past to the top of the umbrella. And then that way we know we've got it completely the same way straight down. And so top of the umbrella, let me fast forward through the rest of these. And then any of the black you can actually just rub right off. And then for the holes, I'm just going to eyeball it. Because you want to make sure that there is enough of a lip to catch the inside of the disc. And it doesn't have to be exact, you just want that little bit of an edge. And if you are punching your own covers and you find that it doesn't turn, then there is one of two problems. Either the top of your umbrellas were not lined up correctly and so it's catching that way, or your hole here, the slit, is not big enough. So, you know, you can go ahead and make adjustments to it. And one more. Now I'm pretty sure I could use my crocodile because this is a very sharp point, but on my one that I have, all I did was just did a little bit of a rounded edge. Again, this isn't anything that I'm going to sell, although if it were, I think that would be perfectly acceptable. I don't know that anyone's going to measure their rounded corners. I think a customer would be a little perturbed if their product that they just purchased from me stabbed them. I think that would be a bigger issue than their rounded corners might not be a perfect rounded corner. So let me just round this one as well. And that's why I round everything that I make, either by hand like this or with my crocodile corner chopper or whatever thing it's called, just because I have stabbed myself. And so if I've stabbed myself, there is a likelihood that you might stab yourself, and I really don't want that for you. So let's put this on. And that actually looks really cute. Now that's a little weird, but that's fine. Actually, let's put that one. Let's put that one here. And what I might use these for is dividers. And so I might have different sections of different types of quotes. And then I can just divide it. I mean, since I already have these cut down. Right now there's no rhyme or reason. Okay, what I do need to point out is this is sturdy. It is very sturdy, but I've effectively broken the seal. So this is not going to last for infinity. Now I could re-laminate this, and if I were to laminate it again, I actually would want to laminate it before I punch the holes, and you certainly can do that. But again, this isn't something that's going to leave my room. It's not something that's going to get a lot of wear and tear. Basically, I take it off the shelf, work on it, do a little bit of meditation and reflection, and then put it back. So I don't foresee that this is going to get junk anytime soon. But just be aware, you've got your laminate on the outside, your paper on the inside, and eventually this can split. And I'm doing this for the interest of science, so you know what I'm talking about, but I can easily glue that back together. Okay, so let's put this together. And again, we have got our little Commonplace Journal. I'm truly hoping that you guys find some inspiration in this. Again, to me, it's not so much of a note taker. There is a specific purpose for this, but the purpose is also very broad. It's almost midnight, so maybe that's why I'm not able to formulate a coherent thought. Because, I mean, that makes perfect sense to me, and yet if I look at the sentence in my head, that doesn't make any sense at all. But I'm not studying anything. If anything, I'm just doing self-reflection and studying myself, and I'm giving myself some jumping off points in order to do that. And again, I kind of like the idea of using some of my stickers because there are so many quote stickers in the Happy Planner books that I have. On my Instagram page, all of last year, pretty much every single day, I put a quote on my Instagram page. So I might just go through my feed and then just do some hand lettering. Again, this really is about having a common place to put inspiration and to help focus on meditation and self-reflection and just motivate me to remember why I'm doing any of this, because I know why on the big macro picture, and sometimes I have a problem of focusing on the micro level. But if I can remember that all of this is connected and that I should enjoy the journey as well as striving to compete against myself and not others, then I'm hoping this will help me do that. And I'm hoping this gives you a little bit of inspiration, if you are still here and watching, to do something similar, or to look at this in a way that you may not have thought about. Because again, this is not planning, this is not about stickers, this is not about anything but reminding myself that she is strong. Now, like I said, I will link some of the videos specifically to the Commonplace Journal and how they see it as part of their own creative journey. I also want you to check out Lanaya. She made one of these micro, I think she calls it like a super micro happy planner, and she made this months ago, way before the Happynichi craze. And it actually, because I think there are smaller sheets than the half sheets. I don't know, I can't get them, so I think I've seen them. I think my girl Kelly, I think that's her name, Kelly from Insight Hope 99, I think she did a haul where she picked up some micro notes, and I want to say that they're smaller. Now, I don't know if they're the classic length or if they're the mini length. Again, I don't have any, but Lanaya used those micro sheets in whatever size they are. And if you know what the size is, let me know down below so I can actually link it to my blog. But I was kind of inspired by her making her little super micro happy planner, and then also by the Commonplace videos that I've recently watched. I think this video turned out to be a lot longer than I anticipated. Again, I'm hoping someone finds some use out of this. I know I certainly will. It already has given me some food for thought and just some meditation and self-reflection points for just the minutes that we were here together doing this. All right, guys, that's it for me. And as always, aloha.